Chapter 1 Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The woman in the photo had sad eyes. Jiang Yu surely didn't notice this 3 years ago. This was the last photo of her mother. Weeks before she died from a car accident. Jiang Yu had avoided thinking about that terrible day. It was the day that her life changed. And no, she was not just talking about the death of her mother. She was talking about her rebirth. Her reincarnation. You see, Jiang Yu was with her mother during the accident. Everyone thought she was lucky to survive that fatal day. What they didn't know is that the original Jiang Yu did die. She is the Jiang Yu from the future. She didn't know why she came back to her past self. Maybe the gods pitied her and gave her another chance to be happy. She didn't understand why she was reincarnated either. In the first place, she didn't die because someone plotted to kill her. She died because of her own choices. Wrong choices. She didn't die with any grievance nor any regrets. Okay, who is she kidding? She did die with regrets, but she didn't think it was enough reason for her to be reincarnated to her past self. It had been 3 years since that accident, and if she would be honest, she really didn't like to go back to her family. 3 years ago, when she realized that she reincarnated, the first thing that she did was to ask her maternal grandfather to send her abroad. She knew her father will marry another woman. Not just another woman, but his mistress. And that will be the start of her doomed. Her father Jiang Chonming didn't love her mother. He married her out of convenience. However, her mother Wang Ro loved Jiang Chonming like the sunflower loved the sun. She practically worshipped her husband. So when she discovered that her husband was seeing another woman behind her back, she was heartbroken. Wang Ro was the only daughter of the prestigious Wang family. Her pride can't take the fact that her husband was cheating on her. But, unlike all cliché novel stories, her mother was a smart woman. She didn't try to kill the mistress or her husband's bastard daughter. No, she is smarter than that, so she transferred all her properties and company shares under her daughter's name. As they say, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. This earned the ire of his father. And since he can't really do anything to his wife because of her family, he chose to vent his anger towards his only daughter, Jiang Yu. He started ignoring her and scolding her. They started to abuse her emotionally and psychologically. This leads her to yearn for fatherly love. She longed for his father's love and attention. In her past life, she always wanted to make her father happy. She craved for her father's approval. 2 months after her mother's death, Jiang Chonming brought Lu Shi into their home. He then announced that he will marry her in a month. Jiang Yu was devastated. Especially after knowing that she had a sister. Jiang Mian, born 2 months after her birthday. When she saw that her father dotes on Jiang Mian too much, she becomes so jealous and unreasonable. She started competing for attention. She would want what Jiang Mian want. She started bullying her and calling her names. When she heard that Jiang Mian had a crush on Yu Qin, their university's hunk, she directly asked her maternal grandfather to set up an engagement without even knowing the man. Yu Qin didn't come from a prestigious family. Well, he is from a rich family but not as rich as the Wang family. Her grandfather tried to disapprove but Jiang Yu threw a tantrum and threatened to sever her ties with the Wangs. She acted irrationally and started defying her grandfather. When her grandfather suggested a prenuptial agreement, she was enraged. She doesn't want Yu Qin to feel like she didn't love him. She wants to show off to the world, to Jiang Mian rather, that she and Yu Qin were in love. Jiang Yu wanted to laugh at her previous self's foolishness. How could she even like a man like Yu Qin? Yet she still chooses to marry him in her past life. She thought she won. Little did she know, Jiang Mian and Yu Qin are already long-time lovers when they got married. Yes. She became the antagonist of her stepsister's perfect love story. The only obstacle to their sincere love and affection. After 3 years of marriage, he divorced her so he could marry her little sister. To her dismay, he got half of all her property during their divorce. Thinking about it now, she couldn't help but be angry at her previous self. How could she be so foolish? She wasted her youth because of people like them. In this lifetime, she will make sure not to spare any time to associate herself with toxic people. Nope, she will not even spare a single emotion to those people. She will not revenge nor get angry because they don't deserve it. They don't deserve her attention. Not her stupid father, not her manipulative stepmother, not her White Lotus stepsister, and certainly not the arrogant and dumb Yu-Chen. "Young miss, it's almost dark," the old master called to ask, "Where will you stay tonight?" A respectful voice interrupted her thoughts. She looked at the man in her 40s standing next to her. He had a short cropped hair and amicable black eyes. He is Wang Bolin, her trusted bodyguard and personal driver. He was personally picked by her grandfather to serve her. Wang Bolin is a handsome man for his age. However, he chose not to marry. He used to serve as a guard for her mother before she got married. Rumor has it that the reason he never got married is because he loved her mother. "I'm going to my mother's house. Tell grandfather I will visit him tomorrow," she answered. It was around 2 hours ago when she landed in Xian City, the place where she was born. She looked back at the photo in her hands, then at the tombstone in front of her. She let out a long sigh and allowed herself a few minutes of mourning. "I am back, mother. I am back," she murmured before walking away from her mother's tomb. Chapter 2. And you are listening at NovelFull.audio. It had been 3 years since they started living in the Zhang's mansion. Although the circumstances that time earned them a lot of scorn and disgust, Lu Shi, didn't care. Lu Shi and Jiang Chanming were in love. In fact, they were childhood lovers. However, Jiang Chanming married Wang Rou to elevate the Jiang family. Lu Shi was aggrieved at first. Lu Shi and Jiang Chanming grow up together. She always thought that she will be his wife. Lu Shi couldn't take the fact that Jiang Chanming will marry another woman. So she chose to sleep with him days before he got married. Jiang Chanming got hooked, and it didn't just become a one-time affair. They continued to see each other even after Jiang Chanming's wedding. When Wang Rou discovered their affair, Lu Shi and Jiang Chanming already had a 5-year-old daughter. They thought a divorce was coming. They waited and waited, but Wang Rou didn't file for a divorce nor let the Wang family know of her grievances. To Lu Shi's delight, Wang Rou even distanced herself from Jiang Chanming. Months later, after the discovery of the affair, Jiang Chanming was fuming with rage when they discovered that all of Wang Rou's property and company shares were transferred to her daughter's name. That includes all of her offshore accounts and business affiliations. In all honesty, Lu Shi was also not happy with what Wang Rou did. The Lu family is just a simple merchant family. She thought that Jiang Chanming will receive some of Wang Rou's inheritance if they separated. But lo and behold, that woman had the guts to give everything to her only daughter. However, with their current circumstance, Lu Shi was forced to swallow down her anger and instead plan ways to get rid of that loathsome woman. And she succeeded. Lu Shi couldn't help but smile to herself. Wang Rou is dead, but her daughter still lives. How unfortunate. Still, she always had the chance to entice Jiang Yu to give some inheritance to her stepsister Jiang Mian. An evil smile slowly made its way into her face. Or she could just get rid of her. She thought. Madam, hurry. Madam. She was startled by a panting maidservant. What is your problem? Are planning to give me a heart attack? Madam. The young miss. The young miss has arrived. Fei is holding her chest while speaking as if she was just running for her life. So what is the matter? What are you panicking for? She inquired. She was thinking of her daughter Jiang Mian. Her daughter had been studying for the National Higher Educational Entrance Exam. It is normal for her to come home and spend the night in the mansion instead of her dormitory to study. No, madam. It's the eldest Mississippi Jiang Yu. She is here. The mention of Jiang Yu's name made Lu Shi tremble. How could it not? She was just plotting to kill her a while ago. What did you say? Jiang Yu. Where is she? Quickly show me. She is currently tending to her flowers in the terraces at the back of the mansion. It is going to be a long walk, so she had to hasten her footsteps to save some time. She couldn't help but curse. How come Jiang Yu just arrived without letting anyone know? Jiang Chanming is not here. He is doing business overseas and will come back home tomorrow. She gritted her teeth in annoyance. She was panting when she arrived at the veranda where Jiang Yu is currently sitting elegantly while reading a book in another language and sipping her tea. She calmed herself before speaking to announce her presence. Jiang Yu. How come you didn't tell us that you will be arriving? We could have prepared something. Lu Shi said. Her tone will make a stranger think that she is speaking to someone she knows well. Jiang Yu tear away her eyes from her book and look at her. Lu Shi gasped in astonishment. The girl before her is very beautiful. No. To say that Jiang Yu is beautiful was an understatement. She looks like a deity. She had a long dark and gray ombre hair. Dark roots that transitioned to beautifully colored gray hair. Slender eyebrows matched with curly eyelashes. She had a tall and long nose and pink full lips. And her biggest feature is her deep-seated gray eyes that she inherited from her mother Wang Ro. Jiang Yu looked at her from head to toe. Questions apparent in her eyes. Then she lifted her brow and asked, "And you are?" Chapter 3. The Vol. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Yu's question shocked Lu Shi. How could Jiang Yu not know her? Thinking about it, they didn't inform Jiang Yu of their marriage. It is only reasonable that she will not know her. I am Lu Shi, your father's wife. I am your new mother. She said with a friendly smile. Jiang Yu looked at her blankly. My mother's dead. Lu Shi wanted to retort. But what could she say? If there's nothing else, you can go now. I want to be alone. Jiang Yu said as she looks at her book again. Her expression showed that she is so engrossed to what she is reading. Lu Shi's eyes were turning red because of anger. She calmed her emotions and tried to look pitiful. Child, I know you are mad that we didn't invite you to our wedding, but we thought you are still grieving and we didn't want to slight you. I will understand if you don't like me. You can disrespect me all you want. I just want you to know that I and your father sincerely love you. She started to sob. I didn't expect you to show up without letting your father know. Even if you hate him, you could have at least let him know that you are coming home. He loves you so much. He had been talking about you for the past 3 years. She then stared at Jiang Yu, her eyes red-rimmed from crying. Everyone would think that Jiang Yu said something hurtful to her new stepmother. Jiang Yu just looked at her blankly. Her face devoid of any emotion. Jiang Yu then diverted her sight and stood up. She walked past her as if she didn't exist. You. Where are you going? Lu Shi asked. Her tone showed her grievance as if someone just bullied her. Jiang Yu stopped walking and turned around, then walked towards her. Lu Shi, you say. Jiang Yu tilted her head as she looked at her. Lu Shi slowly nodded. Lu Shi. I hate talking. And I hate noisy people. So let me waste a couple of minutes so we will not waste each other's time in the future. First, you are not my mother. Second, this is my house. A house under my name. I don't have to tell anyone when I come back to my own house. And third. Her face moved towards Lu Shi's pale face. I know what you are. So don't waste my time with your green tea act. She then looked at Lu Shi from head to toe before giving her a smirk, then walk out of the veranda without sparing her another glance. Jiang Yu felt satisfied. She promised a long time ago not to dwell on this pity people, but she still couldn't stop herself sometimes. She knows Lu Shi is fake. She was never sincere. In her past life, she always loved and respected Lu Shi like a real mother. She would even sometimes vie for her attention just to slight Jiang Mian. However, one day she saw Lu Shi's true face unintentionally. It was also the day that she discovered Yu Chen had been cheating on her. She heard Lu Shi talking to Jiang Mian over the phone, telling her that she already poisoned Jiang Yu, making her unable to get pregnant, so their plan is foolproof. No one will pity a divorced woman who can't get pregnant. They had a perfect reason for the divorce. They could say that Yu Chen divorced Jiang Yu because of her inability to get pregnant and to compensate to the Yu family. Yu Chen will marry Jiang Mian instead. Jiang Yu was fuming with rage when she discovered their intricate plot. She was always so arrogant that she got Yu Chen. Yet she was just making herself a joke to this mother and daughter pair. She wanted to confront Jiang Mian. So she hurriedly drives away without realizing that she is just moments away from death. However, she chooses not to dwell on those things that are part of the past. She knows she was wrong in the first place. She shouldn't have competed with the protagonist. All antagonists will end up dead and lonely. She let out a loud laugh at her foolishness. In this life, she will never give them the satisfaction that they had before. She will avoid them like a plague and live this life to the fullest. She will enjoy her youth and will get everything that belongs to her. She chuckled at the thought of the future. Since her reincarnation, she always wondered what would her future hold if she avoids all of those people. The first thing that she did after she entered her room was to lock her door. She doesn't want anyone to disturb her. Then she walks into her 20 square meter walk-in closet and roams her eyes around the glass shelves. She couldn't stop herself from smiling. Her mother always loves to dress her up. That is the reason why her closet is always full of beautiful and branded clothes. She then pushed a button just below her shoe shelves. A click was heard, then a little vault can be seen slowly popping out from the bottom-most part of the custom-made stone countertop at the middle of the room. She smiled as she walks toward the vault. This is the reason why she chose to visit this place first before going to her grandfather's house. This vault contains all the property deeds under her name. This also includes the original will of her mother. She entered her password and opened the vault to check its contents. A victorious smile can be seen in her face. She then put the whole content of the vault inside a wheeled duffel bag together with some high-heeled shoes that she loves the most. After preparing everything, she took a hot comfortable bath before going to bed with a smile. Chapter 4: A boring show. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The wind was howling outside. Rain hammering on the window pane. Another sound of shattered glasses can be heard. Lu Shi was panting. Curses flying everywhere. She reeked of whiskey and resentment. She wanted to vent her anger. She wanted to hurt someone. Another shout can be heard, followed by a string of curses. How dare she? How dare she disrespect me like that? Then she laughs like a mentally deranged woman. Jiang Yu, ah. Jiang Yu. Very good. Let me play with you. Meanwhile, Jiang Yu was sleeping comfortably in her room. The sun is already high when Jiang Yu decided to get off her bed. She immediately dialed Wang Bolan's number, telling him her itinerary for the day. She doesn't want to spend any more time in the Zhang's mansion. True, the mansion is listed under her name, but she felt that there is too much negativity in this house. And she doesn't need any negativity in her life. She quickly washed her face and brushed her teeth. She chose to wear a knee-length black flared dress. Then she made her way out of her room with her duffel bag. However, Fate had another plan for Jiang Yu. She was already on the foyer when she heard her father's voice. She couldn't help but roll her eyes. It was just morning and luck is already not in her way. She thought. Hey! Are you listening to me? Jiang Chanming's voice echoed. This brought back Jiang Yu from her thoughts. She looks at her father. He still had the same sharp features. To be honest, if someone would ask her, she wouldn't say that her father is good-looking. Now that she thought about it, she couldn't help but notice that they actually have no resemblance whatsoever. Hey! Are you deaf? Are you ignoring me? Ha! So this is what you get by staying abroad. Her father lashed out. She tried to remember the words that her father said earlier. But it seems that she couldn't remember anything. She wondered how did she become so absent-minded lately. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Jiang Yu shrugged without halting her steps as she continued walking down the hall. Good. Very good. You are showing just how ungrateful you are. The gods must have punished me for not raising you well. You are a bad egg to this family. How embarrassing. You are just like your mother. She heard her father say. Dear, calm down. Yuer is just tired from her flight yesterday. She just forgot to inform you. She heard Lu Shi's high-pitched voice trying to comfort her father. She smiled inwardly. Jiang Yu stopped walking and looked at the couple sitting on the dining hall. She is waiting for a good show. Yuer, come here. I didn't ask the servants to call you because I know you are tired. Come sit down and eat with us. Lu Shi said with a big smile on her face as she gestured her to sit. Jiang Yu obediently sat across Lu Shi. She didn't say anything and just waited for the servants to prepare some utensils, then she started to eat. She is indeed hungry. So, are you still going back abroad? You should just stay and continue your studies here. I'm sure the old Wang patriarch will understand. Lu Shi was smiling while talking to her. Jiang Yu wanted to give this woman a standing ovation. Such an artist. She wondered why Lu Shi didn't pursue acting instead. I should be staying here permanently. She answered. Magnificent. Don't worry. I will arrange everything. It is too late to start school, but I'm sure we can do something about it. What do you think, dear? Why don't you give the headmistress of Xian City's international school a call? Lu Shi looks at Jiang Chanming. As expected, Jiang Chanming looks like he just swallowed a fly. His brows are furrowed. Anger visible in his eyes. Jiang Chanming knew that Jiang Yu is very smart. In fact, she was once called a genius during her elementary years. If Jiang Yu will go to the same school as Jiang Mian, then she will surely overshadow her. It is almost the end of the year. The school won't accept any enrollments this time. Especially now that the national examinations are coming. He said. Jiang Chanming couldn't hide the anger in his voice. This daughter of him is becoming more and more willful every day. After Wang Rou's death, Jiang Yu directly requested her maternal grandfather to send her abroad to mourn, away from her birthplace. She then changed her mobile number so he couldn't contact her at all. She didn't attend his wedding with Lu Shi and didn't even call in the past 3 years. He is still asking himself why Jiang Yu suddenly become like this. She used to follow him all around asking for his attention. Grandfather already took care of it. He heard Jiang Yu said. He couldn't help but grit his teeth. That Wang old man is trying to isolate his daughter. Jiang Chanming is sure that Wang patriarch wants to protect Wang Rou's inheritance. Great. That is very good news. I will let Jiang Mian know so she can help you. Are you going to stay in the dormitories as well? It would be great to. Jiang Mian. Jiang Yu interrupted Lu Shi. Oh. You haven't met her yet. She is my daughter and your blood-related sister. Lu Shi answered with a broad smile. Although Jiang Mian is not as pretty as Jiang Yu, she knows that her daughter is the top student of her school. She would love to see how her daughter will handle this ungrateful brat. Plus, the headmistress is also her cousin. She is getting excited with the thought of Jiang Yu's aggrieved face in the future. Oh. Jiang Yu replied, clearly uninterested. Her reply startled Jiang Chonming. He had expected for Jiang Yu to throw a tantrum. He didn't say anything as he continued to look at her. He cannot seem to fathom this daughter of his. She seemed to hate him. As if she knows about his relationship with Wang Ro. The thought of Wang Ro made him more angry. The fact that Wang Ro gave all of her assets to Jiang Yu was a great insult to him as her husband. He forced to swallow down his anger. He will do everything to get some of the company's shares and properties back. While Jiang Chonming was busy scheming, Jiang Yu decided to consume her food quickly. The show that she was expecting is so boring. She was highly disappointed. I won't stay here or the dormitories. I'll come back tonight to get some of my things. She said as she got up and she strutted her way out of the house without waiting for their response. Eventually, she reached the parking lot adjacent to the mansion. She waved at Wang Bolin who was standing next to a tinted black BMW. Then she handed her duffel bag before going inside the car. Make sure to give the bag to grandfather when we arrive. She told Wang Bolin as they started to leave the gates of the mansion. Chapter 5 Nocturne. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Wang's mansion is located at the south side of the city. It was currently rush hour, so Jiang Yu was forced to endure being stuck in the traffic. Jiang Yu is excited to see her grandfather. In her past life, grandfather Wang pampered her. But her poor choices alienated her from the old man. Grandpa Wang must have really been disappointed in her past life. She couldn't help but sigh. Her maternal family dotes on her so much. The Wang family is one of the 4 prestigious families not just in Xi'an City but in the whole country. Although it's not as old compared to the other 3 families, the Wang's fortune can still compete with them. The Wang's ICOMS Tech International is a very well-known company both inside and outside the country. They are a conglomerate company that focuses on technological innovations. They started off as a small business, but with the past 3 decades of staggering technological updates, ICOMS Tech International was able to rise up to the top. Her grandfather, Wang Guiren, is the business founder and current patriarch of the Wang family. He had twins. Wang Ro, her mother, and Wang Ho, her beloved uncle. At first, Wang Guiren was reluctant to let Wang Ro enter the Jiang family. But he had to honor his promise to his best friend, Jiang Chonming's father, Jiang Linfang. After Wang Ro's death, Jiang Yu became the only female in the Wang family. This made everyone including her only male cousin to dote on her. Jiang Yu couldn't help but smile while thinking about her maternal family. She misses them. This will be the first time that she will spend some time with the Wangs after her rebirth. Jiang Yu was still in deep thought when she noticed the deceleration of the car. She lifted her head and looked at the luxurious mansion in front of her. The Wang's ancestral house is a luxurious 19,000 square foot mansion. It has a warm and cozy vibe making you feel comfortable just by looking at it. The exteriors are made of lilac block stones and pressure-treated spruce, giving it an expensive and elegant appeal. Its interior floor is made of cozy Bavarian oak. It also features beautifully designed wood ceilings and wenge walls. She quickly gets off the car and bounces her way into the house. Her excitement is clearly visible in her face. Good morning, young miss. Your grandfather is waiting for you in the gallery. She vaguely heard the attendant say as she skipped her way to the second floor. The gallery is on the second floor of the mansion. Inside the gallery is a collection of paintings and sculptures that her grandfather loved. This includes some of Wang Ro's paintings. Her mother is a very talented artist. She loves to paint, sing and play musical instruments. This is the reason why her grandfather made a gallery that is connected to a music room where you could play the piano. Opening the door, she saw an old man standing in front of a framed black and white photograph. "Grandfather," she called. The old man looked at her and gave her a longing smile. Jiang Yu knows that her grandfather is looking at her Wang Rose photo again. After Wang Rose's death, her grandfather insisted on framing a black and white photo of her daughter. He decided to put it in Wang Rose's favorite place in the mansion. The gallery. "Grandfather. You can't stand too long. You need to take care of yourself. Come, let's go to the music room. I will play a piece for you," she said with a sincere smile. Jiang Yu is aware that her grandfather misses her mother. She helps her grandfather into a chair and proceeded to sit in front of the black and shiny piano. Silence envelopes the place as she slowly let her fingers flew over the keys. She decided to play Nocturne in E-flat major, her mother's favorite piece. Not long, she becomes engrossed in its dramatic flair. She closed her eyes to let the memories drown her. In her past life, she becomes so determined to earn her father's approval and love that she didn't even cherish moments of peace and happiness like this. Her father started despising her since she was 5. She lost her mother when she was 15. She started all her wrong decisions after her mother's death. At 18, she chose to become an actress just like Jiang Mian even though she hated acting. At 19, she lost her innocence to a director just to steal a role from Jiang Mian. She got married to the despicable Yu Chen at 21. And became a divorced woman at 24. Later on, she died of a car accident alone at 25. The tone started to build up and she could feel the vibrations tingling into her skin. Her heart raced, banging against her chest. She let her fingers caress the piano. Her emotions flowing everywhere. Then finally she hit the last note. She opens her eyes as a single tear slowly cascaded down her cheeks. She looked at her grandfather. He gives her a proud smile, eyes gleaming, full of affection. Clap, 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 her attention was drawn into the person clapping besides her grandfather. She saw a man who looked exactly like her mother. It was his uncle, Wang Ho. "Wow! I didn't know someone else could play that piece aside from your mother, little Yu," Wang Ho exclaimed. She gives them a smile. And slowly made her way into her grandfather and her uncle. "You look just like your mother when she was your age. Come give your uncle a big hug," Wang Ho cheekily says as he opens his arms widely. "Stop it, old man, you are not a kid. Come, little Yu, give this handsome young cousin of yours a hug instead." Another voice butts in. Then she saw her cousin elegantly strode in and give her a hug. "How dare you call me an old man? How about we talk about your engagement instead? What do you say, Wang Minghua? Engagement? How about I tell grandfather what you..." Wang Minghua was not able to finish his words as Wang Ho covered his mouth. "How about we let little Yu eat some of her favorite cookies that you baked especially for her son?" Wang Ho said. Cold gaze fixed on the smiling young man. Jiang Yu smiled while looking at the father and son banter in front of her. She was not able to witness such a warm scene in her past life. "Stop this nonsense. How embarrassing. You are giving me a headache," his grandfather said while shaking his head. Then he gets up and started walking. "Come, little Yu, let us ignore these two embarrassing people here." Jiang Yu couldn't help but let out a little chuckle as she followed her grandfather. His uncle and cousin didn't even notice their departure as they continued to banter like teenagers. Chapter 6 Bao Bao. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Her grandfather was laughing heartily. He seemed to have become 10 years younger. "So did you tell your professor why you chose that pen name?" he asked. He was talking about Jiang Yu's school life abroad. At the age of 16, Jiang Yu was already recognized as a famous poet in her university. At first, people started to get interested in her poems not because of its contents but because of her funny pen name Bao Bao. However, when they read the content of her poems they were amazed by how sentimental it is. They started loving her and sharing her works on social media, giving her instant fame. Of course, these people didn't really know what she looks like. Yes. I tried to explain its meaning. But he wants me to change it. In the end, I just stopped writing for the school paper. So he apologized and promised to retain my pen name so I will continue writing for the university. She explained. How amusing. When that child Minghua showed me one of your poems online, I almost laughed at some of the comments. The online world is a scary thing, his grandfather said, clearly delighted by her stories. Here you go. I especially baked these cookies. I know you love them. Wang Minghua passed her a plate full of freshly baked cookies. The father and son banter ended just minutes after they left and both father and son followed them into the mansion's lounge. Wang Minghua then proudly informed her about his newly acquired baking skills that he learned just for her. She picked one of the cookies and quickly shoved it into her mouth. This is good. She nodded in approval. I didn't know you had it in you. Wow. She mumbled while picking up another piece of cookie. She gives her cousin a big smile. Wang Minghua is already 20 years old this year. He was more than 2 years older than her. He is a very good-looking guy with delicate white skin and their signature silver gray eyes. He has a lean and tall body that towered over her 171 centimeters height. He could pass as a model or even an actor. So. I already talked to Headmistress Lu. She knows you will arrive later today. At first, she directly refused when I told her. But when she saw your accomplishments abroad she reluctantly agreed. Minghua will accompany you to the school later. Her grandfather suddenly said with a stern voice. What's wrong? Her uncle asked after he noticed his father's change of mood. This headmistress is Lu Shi's cousin. I'm worried she will bully little you. Wang Guiren answered. Relax, grandfather. I can handle myself. She assured him. She remembered that Wang Guiren almost had a heart attack when he heard about Jiang Chanming's marriage with Lu Shi. Since then, he had been at odds with the Jiang family. The only reason he is not doing anything against the Jiangs is because of her granddaughter. Her grandfather just nodded without saying anything. They continued to talk about random things then had lunch together. After lunch, Wang Minghua accompanied her to Xi'an City International School to meet with the headmistress and familiarize herself with the new environment. It was just around 1 p.m. in the afternoon when they arrived at the university. They decided to go directly to the headmistress' office. However, what they didn't expect was that the news of two good-looking people walking down the hallway had already spread far across the grounds of the university. Have you heard? Young Master Wang is here in our school with a very beautiful lady. Do you think she is his girlfriend? I heard young Master Wang has no girlfriend. Have you seen the lady? Everyone said she is as beautiful as the painting. Hey everyone. I saw them. I just saw young Master Wang with the most beautiful lady that I have ever seen in my whole life. Stop exaggerating. There is no one prettier than me. I believe young Master Wang will fall in love with me if we meet. Ha ha ha, stop dreaming. You are not even fit to clean young Master Wang's shoes. Hey, I noticed she also had silver eyes just like young Master Wang. Maybe she is just a relative. Now that you mentioned it, young Master Wang did have a cousin with the same gray eyes. Of course, this conversation didn't escape Jiang Mian's ears. She clenched her fist. She knows that they are talking about Jiang Yu, her older sister. She knows that Jiang Yu is pretty close to the Wang family. Still, she couldn't stop feeling envious. Jiang Yu is escorted by one of the most famous bachelors in the city. How could she be so lucky? Hey! Jiang Mian. Jiang Mian, can you hear us? She felt someone pat her shoulders. Sorry. You were saying something. She asked. She must have spaced out earlier. We were asking you about your stepsister. We just heard from someone that she will attend this school and that she is the one especially escorted by young Master Wang earlier. I don't know. My mother told me earlier that she will stay in the country, so mother called our headmistress to ask if she could accept Jiang Yu, but she said that it is already too late to enroll, so she will go to school next year instead. She answered. Isn't she young Master Wang's cousin? That must be the reason why he accompanied her earlier. They must have used their influence to get inside the school. One of her classmates said. How despicable. That's why I hate influential people. The Wangs must have donated millions to the school will accept her. HMP. So she is just a pretty face. Using her influence to her advantage. No, I'm sure my elder sister didn't mean to do that. Maybe she. Jiang Mian, stop covering for your elder sister. She is just another arrogant brat from the prestigious families. I will be disappointed if she will join us in the special section. I'm afraid she will use her influence to bully us. One of Jiang Mian's friends comforted her. Though Jiang Mian looks pitiful and sad, she felt deeply happy inside. She can't wait to tell her mother about today's matter. Jiang Mian is not sure about the effects of her sister's arrival. But she is excited for the days to come. Chapter 7 Rumors. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Yu is bored. No. She is very bored. It had been more than an hour since they arrived at Headmistress Lu's office, and she asked them to wait for the teacher assigned for the special section. Headmistress Lu said that she is more than qualified to enter the first class because of her achievements. However, it seems that the teacher does not agree with this and is blatantly ignoring her calls. Headmistress Lu, if you don't mind, how long are we going to wait for Teacher Yang? It's more than an hour and she is still not here. This is clearly a sign that she doesn't want my cousin in her class. Wang Minghua said. His voice low and grave. He is clearly losing his patience. Headmistress Lu lifted her head and looked at them. She pursed her lips, thinking what to say to them without sounding offensive. She couldn't afford to offend Mr. Wang. Although her cousin Lu Shi already told her to make things difficult for Jiang Yu, she couldn't really do it in front of the heir to the Wang Empire. Mr. Wang, please understand. Teacher Yang is a very brilliant teacher. She had been the advisor of our special class for more than 10 years and she has shown great results. She is reluctant to accept her because she doesn't want to start over to let her adapt to her lessons. Headmistress Lu said with a stern voice. But Wang Minghua was about to retort. He clearly knows that his cousin is more than capable to top the national exam. However, Jiang Yu interrupted him before he could say something nasty. She knows how impulsive Wang Minghua is and it won't be good if he will lash out to the headmistress. Headmistress Lu, I don't want to spend both our day waiting for someone who doesn't want me to be in her class. Why don't we just do this instead? She paused while observing the headmistress. I want to go to the second best class. I am willing to take any test. She declared as she looks at her cousin. Her gaze enough to make him not utter any word. Headmistress Lu looked at her while contemplating. She is considering Jiang Yu's suggestion. Okay, I will give Teacher Shen a call. She then dialed her phone and asked someone to bring Teacher Shen inside. Teacher Shen is a beautiful petite young lady that is wearing an old-fashioned dress and glasses that seems to be too big for her face. When Teacher Shen saw her qualifications she was ecstatic. She is clearly looking at a young genius. Her skills exceeded all of her previous students. Be it in academics or extracurricular activities. I will absolutely accept you in my class. Aya. No need to worry about tests and formalities. From now on I will be your teacher. Call me Miss Shen. Teacher Shen is smiling from ear to ear. She is positive that this is now her time to beat the arrogant teacher Yang in the national exams. What else could go wrong with the young genius by her side? At that time, she is not yet aware that this decision will change her life forever. The news of what happened in the headmistress' office spread like a wildfire. I heard teacher Yang refuse to accept her. Ha! I say this Jiang Yu is very bold. Even asking to be in the special class 2 months before the national exam. I hope she won't embarrass our school at the exams. She just arrived after all. What could she learn in this 2 months? Hey, did you know? This Jiang Yu is the older sister of Senior Jiang. The top student of the special class. Sister. But she is so shameless. I won't accept it. How can she become the sister of my goddess? Jiang Yu haven't even formally started going to school and everyone already knows her as the shameless and arrogant sister of Jiang Mian. Of course, Jiang Yu didn't really care about rumors like this. When she heard their chauffeur mentioned what he heard from the students, she just laughs it off like the rumor has nothing to do with her. This cannot be compared to the mockery that she received in her previous life. On the contrary, Wang Minghua's fury sprang to life. What arrogant! What shameless! That's slander. They are slandering you. They haven't even seen you and they are already spreading rumors. I will let grandfather know about this. Grandfather didn't even use his connections to get you in. I will. Hua Gij, calm down. These are just baseless rumors from jealous people. If a dog bites you, you can't bite them back. She interrupted her cousin. This rumors will not affect her in any way. There were also rumors like this in her previous life. The only difference is that the rumors in her previous life are true. Wang Minghua let out a sigh while looking at her. He couldn't help but pity his little cousin. She is just a weak woman. She already lost her mother and her father doesn't care about her. Their grandfather is already old and sickly, things like this will not be good for his health. His own father and Jiang Yu's uncle might be capable but he is very childish. He will surely act like a child and bite everyone that bullies his little niece. He shook his head. He is the only capable person to protect his little cousin. He clenched his jaw, determination visible in his eyes. From now on, he will be the one protecting his little cousin. He will not allow other people to slight her in any way. What he didn't know was that if Jiang Yu can hear his thoughts right now, she will surely die from amusement. She would think that this cousin of hers is just too adorable. Chapter 8 Island of You. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Yu and Wang Minghua decided not to go to the Zhang's residence to get some of her things. Instead, they decided to go directly to the penthouse given by Wang Guiren. The penthouse is just 20 minutes away from the university. Her grandfather especially chose this for her own convenience. They went inside an upscale building and proceeded to the 10th floor where her 3-bedroom penthouse is located. From the private lobby, they walked into a foyer with white marble floors. She roamed her eyes into the entire penthouse. It had a state-of-the-art kitchen with whitewashed cabinets. She was impressed with the gigantic 18-foot floor-to-ceiling glass windows in the living room, making her see the beautiful view outside. The living room also features a hanging supernova chandelier. The first room is an office with its own tiny music room. The second, which she assumed as a guest room, had a very earthy design with mud-brown color theme and some decorations full of textures. The master bedroom was also skillfully designed. It had been staged dripping in gold from the chandelier down to the bed sheet. It comes with a walk-in closet and a master bathroom with a big black and white theme vanity complete with a tub and stand-in shower. And the most beautiful feature of the penthouse is a terrace featuring a one-of-a-kind 25-foot-long private pool with a luxurious view of the city. So tell me. Do you like it? Wang Minghua asked excitedly. What do you mean by like? I love it. This is awesome. Wow. I'm speechless. Did grandfather do all this? She asked, eyes sparkling from happiness. Well, kinda. Of course, this wouldn't be possible without my help. Ha ha ha, her cousin laughed triumphantly. Wow. Thank you. I really love it. She was truly thankful. She remembered that in her past life, her grandfather loved to give her presents like this, but she was so busy scheming that she was not able to appreciate it. Jiang Yu is emotional. She couldn't stop the tears from racing down her cheeks. How could she have taken for granted the love and affection that her maternal family showed her before? Hey! What are you crying for? What's wrong? I thought you like it. Do you want to change something? Shoo, stop crying, Wang Minghua started to panic. She looked at him awkwardly. Could she tell him the reason for her tears? Of course, she couldn't. There's no way she will tell other people about her rebirth. She shook her head and gave him an assuring smile. Sorry. I'm just so happy to have you guys. Thank you. I feel so lucky, Wang Minghua looked at her then patted her back. No problem, little you. We are always here for you. Meanwhile, in a private island just outside Xian City, a tall young man with broad shoulders was standing inside a villa. He was looking at the pictures scattered in front of his table. It has been confirmed, young master. She is back in the city and will start going to school tomorrow. A respectful voice interrupted the silence inside the room. The young man looked at the person speaking. What about the man? He asked. They haven't met yet. He is also a student at the school, but it seems that he likes her younger sister. They have been seen together for quite some time now. I will go back home tomorrow. I want you to take care of everything on this island, including the construction of the house that I want. The young man said as he took his seat and chose one of the photos. He looked at the woman in the picture full of affection. A boyish grin made its way into his face. The man just nodded without saying anything and silently walked away from the young man. As if he was trying to make his presence as little as possible. In fact, that is really the case. He doesn't want to disturb his young master, especially in moments like this. His young master started obsessing over a girl when he woke up from a comatose 10 years ago. After waking up, he started telling everyone about a girl that he saw in his dreams. Apparently, this girl saved him from dying. He insisted that she was his angel. He said she is very beautiful with her silver-gray eyes. His parents were very concerned about this, but the doctor assured them that this is just normal for patients who have been comatose for a long time. Of course, no one really believed the young master then. That is until 3 years ago. The young master suddenly insisted that they go back to their ancestral hometown. He told his parents that he had a dream that his angel will suffer from a car accident. He told them that he had to stop it. Still, his parents didn't believe him. But everything changed. 3 weeks after the young master's breakdown, they saw the news about a car accident involving a young girl with gray eyes. Butler Xia. He heard the young master called him just before he could reach the door. Yes, young master. I want to go and study to her university. The young man declared. Butler Xia was stunned. He looked at his young master cautiously. But young master, you are already 19. You have already finished secondary education. I doubt the old master will agree. He answered. The young man furrowed his brows. Then, I want to take the national examinations with her. Butler Xia nodded. I will take care of it, young master, and one last thing. The young man added. Yes, young master. I want you to change the name of this island. The young man looked at the photo again. His mouth lifted into a doting smile. Name it Yu. Yes. Name it the island of you. Chapter 9 His Angel. You are listening at novelfull.audio. He could clearly remember what happened on the night that they met. The night that he met his angel. The one who saved his pitiful life. And no. He is not talking about this life. He is talking about his previous life. He was 17 and dying. He was poisoned when he was 15, which damaged his lungs and kidneys. This made him endure a life full of pain and sufferings. Unable to bear all the pain, he decided to kill himself on his 17th birthday. He sneakily went out without his guards and went into a cliff just outside the city. It was dark and raining when he reached his destination. He closed his eyes and reminisced the happy scenes in his life. He always asked himself why. Why does it have to be him? What did he do wrong? He remembered his loving mother and understanding father. He remembered his childhood full of love and laughter. He remembered the relief in his parents' eyes when they saw him open his eyes after his comatose when he was 9. He remembered their heartbreaking cries when he was poisoned. Then he remembered his mother's sad eyes full of sympathy. He remembered his father's angry screams at the doctor, asking them to fix him. His parents tried to do everything for him. They talked to every prominent doctor in the world. They tried looking for a solution. Tried looking for a way to keep him alive. Yet, they all say one thing. The same thing over and over. It was too complicated. That the damage had spread to his lungs and intestines. That only a miracle can save him. Both his mother and father tried to ease his pain. They pampered him and give him everything that he wants. They tried to make him happy. Make him laugh. They wanted him to forget the pain. But they don't understand that it wasn't just about the pain. No. It was about fatigue and hopelessness. It was about watching the two most important people in his life succumb to sadness every day. It was about watching them feign happiness and excitement. It was about watching himself slowly dwindle like a star slowly losing its brightness. He clenched his jaw and cried. That was the first time that he cried in years. He didn't shed a tear when he heard that he only had a few years to live. He also didn't cry when he watched his parents break down in front of him. No. He pretended to be strong. He looks at them with a smile every day. But he is crying now. He knows that his family will be better off without him. Why prolong the inevitable? He will die soon anyway, so why would he let his parents suffer with him longer? He felt dejected, hopeless, he felt useless. He opens his eyes and looks at dark abyss in front of him. Then he looks up the sky and said his final goodbye. Tonight will be the end of his misery. Tonight will be the night of his death. Or so he thought. You know, if you are looking for a sign to die, then this is it. Go ahead. Jump. I will send you off. He turned his head when he heard a soft small voice not far away from him. You. What are you doing here? The lady in front of him didn't give an answer. She was just looking at him as if trying to read his thoughts. Then she slowly walked into the cliff and stood just beside him. He looked at the girl just a foot away from him. He can clearly see her features now that she is closer. She is about 14 or 15. She is clearly a beauty with her cherry lips and gray eyes. He also noticed that she is holding a bottle of wine. I lost my mother 2 months ago. She said as she broke her gaze and looked down the cliff. Today, my father brought another woman at home and said that he will marry her next month, she continued, then he introduced me to a girl my age and said that she is my younger sister. I felt sad. The girl said as she fixed her eyes at him. I wanted to kill myself. Then I remembered my feelings when I lost my mother. I don't want someone to feel that way because of me. You know, if you kill yourself you will only die once. But the person left behind, the person who truly loves you will die 1,000 times every time that they think of you and ask themselves over and over why. She shrugged, then she gulps another mouthful of wine. Suicide will never end the chances of your life getting worse. But it will eliminate the chances of it getting any better. She then turns around and started walking without waiting for his response. What if you already know that it won't get better? He muttered. She stopped walking and looked at him again. Then get a gun and blow your brains out. This cliff will not kill you. She chuckled, then waved her hands as she continued walking away. Wait. What is your name? He asked. Surname Jiang. Jiang Yu. Chapter 10 Bad Luck. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Contrary to what he believed, he didn't die that night. He went home drenched with rainwater. He almost laughed out loud when he saw his parents' worried expression. He realized how much he loved them. He always thought that death will be the answer to their sadness, but on that night he realized something. Something very important. On that night he saw the stars on his darkest hour. He learned to live on. Be brave and not fear what is yet to come. He continued to live on. He then asked someone to find her. The beautiful girl with sad gray eyes. Months later, he finally saw her again. He watched her from afar. He didn't dare approach her or introduce himself. He will soon die, so what could be his reason in talking to her? Instead, he just watched. He watched her from the photos. Then watched her from the news. When she decided to be an actress, he became her #1 fan. He watched her movies, her interviews, and sadly her scandals. He watched her ruin her life. He watched her get married into someone she barely knows. He watched her husband divorced her. He was always there. Watching. Silently hurting every time she made a wrong decision. Silently crying when he saw her sad eyes. He was always there looking at her. Though deep inside he hoped that maybe, just maybe, one day she will look his way. But of course, that didn't happen. He was devastated one day when he received some news of her death. She was driving drunk one night. She lost control and crashed into a tree. Her body was badly burned. Even he couldn't recognize her. He blamed himself. Maybe if he approached her, talked to her, be her friend, then maybe she won't become so broken. He couldn't take her death, so he vowed revenge to the people who hurt her. He ruined her ex-husband. He destroyed her paternal family. He even wrecked the career of her little sister. Yes. He was petty. But who cares? She is dead. And he will soon die too. He knows it. He felt it. The smell of death looming, coming, trying to caress him. He knows it wasn't his illness. Maybe it was the sadness from her death. Maybe it was the guilt slowly consuming him. Killing him. Until his final days. He still couldn't fathom the fact that he didn't do something to save her. He just watched her. How could he just let her ruin her own life? How could he didn't let her realize that someone like him is there for her? And before he closed his eyes, just before he lost his breath, he vowed to the heavens that in his next life, he will not let any moment pass without letting her know that he will always be there for her. In his next lifetime, he will save her. He will love her more than he will ever love himself. It was a sleepless night for Jiang Yu. She doesn't know why she still couldn't sleep. She just keeps on tossing and turning. She felt restless. She let out a long sigh before finally getting out of her bed. She decided to go to the music room and play some instruments, maybe it will tire her out. When she woke up, she felt sore. She felt really tired. She covered her eyes from the blinding light coming her way. She realized she fell asleep at the table in her music room. She checked the time. Oh no. No. She thought out loud, then quickly made her way into her bathroom. It was already 8:35 in the morning. She overslept. She quickly undresses and couldn't help but groan as the hot water touched her body. She is just too clumsy. It's the first day of school and she is late. Such bad luck. She couldn't help but curse. After a quick bath, she hurriedly dresses in the university's blue checkered uniform. She then put on a lip gloss, tied her hair in a messy bun and quickly left the building. Good thing, Wang Bolin is already waiting downstairs. It's already 9:30 when she arrived at the school. She directly went into her classroom and apologized to Miss Shen for her tardiness. She was so busy looking for a vacant chair that she didn't notice everyone's weirdly gazing at her. After another hour of boring discussions, her morning classes finally ended. But before she could go outside to get her lunch, her teacher, Miss Shen, called her for a private talk. Miss Jiang, I know you just attended my class and I don't want to pressure you, but the national exams are coming and well, I know you are a genius, so I would like to know in which way I could help you pass the exams with ease. Miss Shen said awkwardly. I'm good, Miss Shen. Seriously. You don't have to worry about me. But thank you for your concern. She smiled politely. Listen, look. I know you're a genius and stuff, and I would like to know the percentage of you passing the exams with flying colors. She looked at Miss Shen weirdly. Jiang Yu was wondering why would she ask something like that on her first day. 98%, she said confidently. Although she barely passed the test in her past life, she is quite confident in this lifetime. She is naturally smart. In fact, she had an eidetic memory, so she won't be able to forget something that she already laid her eyes on. Good. Very good. That's very good news. I want you to ignore all those rumors going on inside the school about you and focus on passing the exam. Prove them wrong. Especially that arrogant Miss Yang of the special section. Miss Shen replied. Her tone happy as if she just hit the jackpot. Jiang Yu couldn't really understand this teacher. Aside from the fact that she looks weird with her antique dress, she seems to have a grudge against Miss Yang, the teacher who didn't accept Jiang Yu. She felt her stomach grumbled, so she quickly excuses herself and went to the school cafeteria to grab some lunch. She could hear the students trying to murmur around her, but honestly, she was too hungry to care. To give herself some peace, she put on her earphones and started to play a classical music concert. She was busy munching her food that she didn't notice someone standing next to her. She almost choked when she saw Jiang Mian with some of her close friends. Jiang Mian is looking at her eerily. Like she is just about to do something sinister. She is already trying her best to avoid her awe. Why did Jiang Mian have to approach her and ruin the rest of her day? She thought. She heard Jiang Mian say something, but she continues to look at her weirdly. She was thinking, why would this protagonist approach her? What could be her motive? Is she scheming again? Eldest sister. You have worried father so much. Where did you sleep last night? We were waiting for you, but you didn't even call to let us know you were safe. Eldest sister, father is. He loves you so much, please do not ignore him like that again, that I am asking you to forgive father for whatever he did wrong to you, Jiang Mian said with a pitiful voice. Everyone looked at Jiang Yu like she had committed a big crime. Although Jiang Mian did her best to lower her voice down, they still heard every word that she said. Jiang Yu is still in her teens, so where could she stay the whole night? Hey, I saw Jiang Yu running late this morning with a messy hair. I wonder where she spent her night. Jiang Yu surely wanted to punch these people in front of her. How could these people be so dumb? She is trying to stop herself from rolling her eyes. She could just ignore Jiang Mian, but that would only make these people think that she is bullying her family. Or I could just act. Ha! She thought. Eldest sister, please forgive father. Father and mother truly asked the headmistress to let you in, but the headmistress said it was too late, so mother didn't push it. You are already enrolled, so please forgive them. Jiang Mian said. This time her eyes reddened like a little girl being bullied. Jiang Yu really couldn't stand it anymore. To everyone's surprise, she suddenly get up and removed her earphones, then she looked at Jiang Mian. This miss, I'm sure we haven't met before. I wonder why are you crying in front of me? Did your mother die or something? Jiang Yu said. Her voice flat, devoid of any emotions. Like she is just talking to a stranger.